The housing conditions provided for workers during the Industrial Revolution were appalling. Far from being safe or comfortable, the dwellings were overcrowded, poorly built, and often crumbling. Entire neighborhoods in the industrial cities, like Manchester, Leeds, and Birmingham, turned into grim, congested slums. There was no proper drainage, and open sewers ran through the streets. Filth piled up outside homes, and clean drinking water was scarce. Families of 6 to 10 people often shared a single, dark, damp room with little ventilation and no sanitation. In such suffocating conditions, diseases spread rapidly. Epidemics of typhus, smallpox, and especially cholera swept through these slums with deadly effect. A government report from Manchester in 1837 paints a horrifying picture. In some streets, almost every household lost someone to cholera. Children died young, and the average life expectancy in these districts plummeted. Workplace conditions were equally grim. Employers held absolute power over their workers. If a worker made a mistake, voiced a complaint, or simply failed to please the employer, he could be fired on the spot. There were no contracts, no legal protections, and no unions to stand up for workers' rights. The fear of unemployment loomed large, forcing men, women, and even children to accept whatever conditions were offered. For those who fell ill, there was no sick leave, no health insurance, and no sympathy. Illness often meant instant dismissal. If a worker suffered a serious injury, common in the hazardous factory environments where heavy machinery was poorly maintained, he was left to fend for himself. There was no compensation, and many ended up begging on the streets or sent to the dreaded workhouses. During times of economic downturn, when factory production slowed, owners routinely dismissed large portions of their workforce without warning. These sudden layoffs left hundreds, sometimes thousands, with no income, no savings, and no support from the state. Hunger, homelessness, and desperation became a way of life for the industrial working class, and who toiled long hours every day, only to return to a life of poverty and neglect. In this cruel system, the workers were little more than replaceable tools, exploited when needed, discarded when not.